So, um, first real video, not counting the intro or the music. So no, not first real. So no, I'm wrong. Anyways, what is music copyright, and like, what does it mean in law? Um, Basically, it's copyright. Anything that a person owns relating to music. But the problem with that is that there's nothing in copyright law specifically talking about music, because that's just a lot of information. Honestly, it's just a lot of information. So it leads to a lot of complications where then people start to claim things like certain chord progressions, certain lyrics, even certain ways that instruments sound, which causes lots of problems. Which is why when you start going down the list and start looking at a lot of these cases, they get to be a little bit iffy. Um, One of the cases, at least in my opinion, that's a little bit iffy was the Robin Thicke case. I think it was similar. The Robin Thicke v. I don't remember. I'll get back to you on this one. Um, but yeah, Robin Thicke's song "Blurred Lines" with Pharrell Williams was got sent to court. Well, Robin Williams got sent to court because the song was too similar to another song. They are similar. However, I don't think they were similar enough to warrant the trial. That's my opinion, obviously, but still, like there is a lot in terms of what goes into music copyright that becomes very iffy on whether or not things can be done. And then, as I said in the intro, I tend to watch a lot of video game covers and remixes, which those people have to do songs that are owned by other companies. And then they get hit with copyright claims. And the problem there is that these companies aren't going to let you buy even the rights to use these songs to arrange these songs because you're a lot smaller than they are. It's like asking, I don't know, McDonald's to make you a meal whenever you're hungry, like at home. It's a similar thing, at least like in their eyes, which makes it very difficult to be able to do anything. Copyright law in general is outdated. It does need to be updated. My hair's in the way. It does need to be updated for sure, but that takes a lot of time and effort and enough people that actually care about it to do anything. And the problem is people don't really care because it's not something that tends to be brought up very often because, well, everybody's trying to be original. Nobody's trying to steal anything from anybody else, but sometimes it happens, whether on purpose or not. Um, Especially with music, I've seen multiple interviews with different musicians, whether it's and songwriters, whether it's Robin Williams, Pharrell Williams, Lin Manuel Miranda, the some of the other YouTubers, Insane in the Rain Music, Family Jewels, stuff like that. I've seen interviews and I've watched them whether on Twitch or YouTube or on the news or whatever, saying that they do get inspiration from these places and that's where the music comes from. So if they accidentally steal stuff, it is infringing upon copyright, but is it on purpose? Not really. And that's where things become a little bit difficult to deal with for copyright law, especially in terms of music. And the other thing is that in order to get into music, you have to have somewhere that started this. For some people, it's a movie soundtrack or something they heard on the radio. Again, video game soundtrack, whatever. And that's what gets them moving. And that's what gets them going into music. For example, the game Undertale. Um, Came out in 2015, September 15th, I believe, of 2015 it came out. A game that instantly became a hit, made by Toby Fox. Game instantly became a hit. A really good soundtrack. I actually have played it. It's really good game, really great soundtrack. But the thing with the soundtrack is the way it sounds. the creator of the game, Toby Fox, had previously worked on a ROM hack, which is just a different version of a game, basically, sort of. In a nutshell, for those of you who don't know, that's kind of what it is. I'm not going to go too deep into that. Of the game Earthbound, which is a Nintendo-owned game, very old, kind of forgotten, unless like you know some of this stuff. It's weird. Um, and he did that, and he used a lot of his knowledge from that, making that to make Undertale, including music. And in that, he did use a lot of sound fonts and stuff like that from Earthbound in order to make Undertale. In fact, one of the bigger songs from Undertale, Megalovania, which is one of the boss fight themes, one of the final boss themes, in fact, uses a sound font, kind of sound font thing, esque thing, from the intro to Earthbound, which in its own way could get Nintendo to sue him. However, that didn't happen. In fact, from what it seems like, Nintendo actually enjoys having him around. He's worked on music for the previous Pokemon game, which at this time would be Pokemon Sword and Shield for the Battle Power theme, and then also, supposedly, from what I've heard, is working on music for the next one, which would be Scarlet and Violet. Um, Not sponsored by them or anything, I guess I have to say that because YouTube. But yeah. So that's the thing. Like with his music, it wasn't completely his because of sound fonts. Because you can get mad at people for that. I don't have any information off that on the top of my head. I'll get back to you with that once I research more into that. This is just kind of a general overview video, but going more in depth than my intro. The intro was just an intro, you know? But yeah, like things like that come up all the time. And it's in the end, it's up to both the creators of the music and the original owners of said things, parts of the music, whether it's chord progressions, um, the way the instrument sounds, the way that the notes move, the lyrics. It's up to them to figure out whether or not they think that this was done not only on purpose but in a way to steal this stuff. Not necessarily on purpose, but a lot of the time that's where this comes from when people tend to do it on purpose. Another example of something similar would be like Lin-Manuel Miranda, who has said multiple times that a lot of his inspiration comes from Disney, which is crazy because he works there now. Like I was saying with Toby Fox, um, a lot of his music takes inspiration from different Disney movies, especially Little Mermaid, as he stated that that's his favorite of the Disney movies, and you can definitely hear that in a lot of his music. Although I've definitely overanalyzed a lot of that music. But you can hear where the influence comes from. But the difference here is that he's doing it in his own way, and doing things differently, which allows him to sound a little more original. But in music, there really is no such thing as originality. It's near impossible to do something that hasn't been done before because, in the end, music is finite. There is an end to how many things that can be done within music. Um, but yeah, that's kind of it for now. Um, I need to do a little more research based off this video alone. I have some more things planned, but based off this video alone, I have some more research that I need to do just to make sure that I can get it to you guys and to show you guys more information, give you guys more information on just how things work in music. Music is honestly not the greatest industry to get into, especially like pop, but I'm not going to get into that too much. Here, it's just copyright. Copyright is horrible when it comes to a lot of things that are new because it's old, but music is definitely a big thing that gets hurt here. But thank you again, and then don't forget, obviously, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTuber stuff. But yeah, thank you. Thanks. Bye.